The truth doesn't always stay buried. Sometimes it waits for the right person to dig it up. Maya hadn't slept in 2 days. The road stretched endlessly ahead as she drove toward the address she had found in the old notebook. 300 miles, one unanswered truth, and a family that suddenly felt like strangers. Uncle Richard's warning still echoed in her mind. Stop looking, but it was already too late for that. By the time she reached the small town, the sky was turning gray. Old buildings lined the quiet streets. Everything felt frozen in time, like the world had forgotten this place existed. The address led her to a small, weathered house at the edge of town. Paint peeling, windows slightly broken, a mailbox tilted to one side. Maya stepped out of the car slowly, her heart beating harder with every step. She knocked once. No answer. She knocked again. This time the door creaked open, but nobody was there. Hello? She called out cautiously. Silence. Then she noticed something on the floor, a photograph. She picked it up. Her breath caught in her throat. It was the same man from the attic picture, the man her grandmother had written about. Victor. But this photo was different. There was a child standing beside him, a young boy, maybe 5 years old. On the back of the photo, a single sentence was written in faded ink. His name is Daniel. Maya froze. Daniel, her heart pounded. Who was Daniel, and why had no one in her family ever spoken about him? Suddenly, a voice broke the silence. You shouldn't be here. Maya spun around. A man stood behind her, late 30s, rough appearance, tired eyes, suspicious expression. Who are you? She asked quickly. The man hesitated, then answered quietly, I'm Daniel. The world seemed to tilt. Maya stared at him, unable to process the words. That's impossible, she whispered. Daniel was a child. The man gave a bitter smile. I was that child. A long silence followed. Only the wind moved between them. Maya's voice trembled. You're saying you're my father's brother? Daniel nodded slowly. Yes. The truth hit her like a shockwave. Her father had a brother nobody in the family ever mentioned, a brother erased from every story. Maya stepped back slightly. Why? Why would they hide you? Daniel looked away, then motioned for her to come inside. The house was small, but lived in. Stacks of old papers filled the table. Files, letters, photographs, like someone had been collecting secrets for years. Daniel sat down heavily and finally began to speak. Your family doesn't just hide secrets, Maya. They erase people. Maya stayed silent, waiting. Daniel continued. When I was born, your grandmother was forced to give me away. Maya frowned. Give you away? He nodded. Because I was proof of her forbidden relationship with Victor. Maya's heart tightened. But your great-grandfather, he didn't just separate them, Daniel said. He made sure I disappeared completely. Maya felt sick. Where did you go? Daniel hesitated, then answered quietly. I was sold into an adoption system under a false identity. Maya's eyes widened. They erased your name? Yes, he said, but not everything can be erased. He reached into a drawer and pulled out a thick folder. Inside were documents, hospital records, adoption files, handwritten notes, and one shocking detail, a matching birth certificate. Maya scanned it quickly, then froze, because the father's name listed was the same as hers. She looked up sharply. That means, Daniel nodded. Yes, I am your father's brother, and that makes me your uncle. The room felt colder. Maya sat down slowly, her mind spinning. Everything she thought she knew about her father was changing. Her father had a brother, a hidden brother, a brother who had been erased from existence. Why didn't he ever tell me? She whispered. Daniel's expression darkened. Because he was told not to. Told by who? Daniel stood up and walked to the window. Your Uncle Richard. Maya's stomach dropped. Daniel continued. When I tried to come back years ago, I contacted your father. He wanted to meet me, but Richard found out. Maya's hands clenched. And then? Daniel turned back slowly. Your father stopped replying. A heavy silence filled the room. Maya felt something shift inside her. A realization, a growing fear. Are you saying Richard is controlling everything? Daniel nodded. He controls the money, the inheritance, the family name, and the truth. Maya felt her breath shake. Then Daniel added something worse. And he knows you're here. Maya's phone suddenly rang. Unknown number. She stared at it, hesitated, then answered. A familiar voice came through, cold, controlled, calm. Maya, it was Uncle Richard. You've met Daniel, haven't you? Maya's blood ran cold. How do you know that? A soft chuckle came through the line. Because I've been watching you since you left the house. Maya looked out the window and saw it. A black car parked across the street. Tinted windows, engine running. Daniel grabbed her arm urgently. You need to leave. Now. But it was too late. Richard's voice returned. You really shouldn't have opened that box. Then the line went dead. Outside, the car door opened, and two men stepped out. Maya's heart pounded violently. Daniel grabbed a hidden envelope from the table and shoved it into her hands. If anything happens to me, he said urgently, take this to the courthouse and out the city. Maya's eyes widened. What is it? Daniel looked at her one last time.